Good afternoon, students. Today we're going to learn about the Victorian period and the main events in the 19th century. Okay, for this class, I have prepared a Google presentation that is a summary that will help you make your own notes and follow your readings in your books. Okay. So I'm going to start by sharing the screen, and I'm going to read a brief account of the main events in this period. Okay. Okay. Here we have the 19th century Victorian literature. Okay, Queen Victoria reigned from 1837 to 1901, but the Victorian age is sometimes said to begin with the defeat of Napoleon in 1815. In literature, the period starts with the death of Sir Walter Scott in 1832 and sometimes goes up to 1914. When Victoria became queen, the monarchy was not very popular. There were many social problems, and members of the working class were severely punished if they wanted to join together in trade unions. During Victoria's reign, the population grew from 2 million to 6.5 million, and the cities grew bigger. Britain became the richest manufacturing country in the world. The Great Exhibition at Crystal Palace, which was built specially for the occasion in London in 1851, became the high point of this worldwide success. The colonies and empire were a huge market for Britain's product. But in the 1850s, several events began to end this success. Okay. One of these events was the Crimean War from 1854 to 1856, Britain's first war for 40 years. It was not a success, and it was the first war to be reported daily in the newspapers. In India, on the other hand, there was a mutiny, and the Indian Mutiny of 1857 showed that all was not well in the colonies. Okay, in 1859, the belief of the age were questioned in the book On the Origins of the Species by Charles Darwin, okay, which showed that man was descended from apes. Okay, the Crimean War. Here you have On the Origins of Species. Okay, there was a move towards democracy, which gave the vote to all men over 21. It continued after the first Reform Act of 1832 with another act in 1867, but the slow process was not completed until women got the vote in 1928. This was an age of extremes. The working classes were poor and lived and worked in terrible circumstances, and the middle classes grew rich and comfortable. There were double standards in this society. Many writers used their works to show that although on the surface this was a successful society, below the surface there were many problems. And you see that in works of many authors of the time, One of them, very famous, is Charles Dickens, okay? Here you have some of the events that I pass it here, the events that caused the problems during the, okay? And then the Irish potato famine. Then you have the Communist Manifesto was published. It was also a very remarkable and important event that has consequences in the future, okay? It was here, you have information about it. Then you have the Great Exhibition that I mentioned in the summary. Another event was the Crimean War. Here you have the characters that took part in this period of war, which was very famous later on. Florence Nightingale, a very famous nurse, okay? This is another event of the time. Here you have information about it. It was very important because it still was used for the building of skyscrapers. Here you have. Another event was the Big Bang was cast on the British East India Company transferred control of India to the Crown. The first transatlantic cable, another event. And the books that I mentioned, On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. And another event were the crimes committed by Jack the Ripper, okay, the different murders that made this criminal famous at that time. And that's all about this summary. Okay. Okay, I think this is all for this class, and it is the last class I prepared for you. This is the last video, and I hope it is useful for your preparation for your classes, okay? Goodbye.